Harry, how are you?
Good, yeah. In that kind of in-between moment between the Vuelta and the Worlds, got a nice little break, and then it's rainbows in Africa for the first time. 5,000 meters of climbing in the men's race, Stu.
It's crazy.
Are we going to see a Pogacar double rainbow?
Well, I saw a double rainbow the other day, which I think was probably a bit of an omens. Yeah, it does feel like that at the moment, though, doesn't it? It's sort of like when you're at a house party and someone opens a door, and you kind of get a bit of fresh air, and you're like, oh, a bit of release.
As if you can remember what a house party feels like.
It's been a while. I mean, I've got 2 children now. I'm not allowed.
Here we go.
Let's take advantage of this.
I'm Mitch Docker, and this is Life in the Pelotons Race Radio. Over to you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Harry. Joining me is Stu.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for joining us. Of course, this is Life in the Pelotons Race Radio, brought to you by MAP. You probably know by now, Harry and I like to take a fan's eye view of racing, and what better time to take a fan's eye view of racing, especially from afar, because we weren't at the Vuelta, but the Vuelta's just finished, and it was quite unusual. It's been in the press for not the wrong reasons, but for different reasons. It finished or didn't finish. I suppose it's the first time I can think of where a race hasn't ended as you'd expect. What did you think about that? Were you disappointed?
Yeah, definitely. It's a real downer to not. I think for the riders as well, it's a bit sad, like not to just put the cap on it. You know, it's just a big DNF at the end. I mean, I guess they all finish they get their finish, but
Mass DNF.
They don't get that feeling of crossing the line. It's just a damp squib, you call it, and it's a real shame. But it was a very strange race. It's kind of like teetering on the brink for so much of it. The kind of wouldn't it make it? Would something terrible happen? There were so many incidences. You definitely felt for the riders, for sure, that like having to race through that. It's one of the kind of, I mean, cycling and protests have gone hand in hand in years and years and years. There's the best ever documentary about cycling, A Sunday in Hell, has an amazing scene where the riders basically have to ride through a load of protesting French. I think they were farmers.
Yeah.
And there's obviously the most famous photo of Bernardino smacking a protester in the face to try to get them out of the way. Yeah. They were different days. Yeah. But yeah, to see it come back. I mean, that's the thing. You can't police 200 kilometers so anyone could turn up. I mean, I'd actually say the protesters did a pretty crap job. They could have definitely... Yeah, you don't have to protest behind the barriers, guys. Find another spot on the road.
Don't give tips, Harry. I mean, like you say, there's a long history of it, isn't there? Just the other week there, on our other podcast, because one's not enough for you and I at this point in time, we were chatting with our good friend Killian Kelly, who's the stat man for TNT in the UK, Eurosport, and he'd reminded us of there was that bombing at the start of the Tour de France in 1992, which was the same year that the Olympics were in Barcelona. So there was obviously a bit of like groundswell in terms of, you know, socio-political feeling happening there. And I guess that's the thing is, I'm going to make an assertion for yourself here, Harry, but for me, like I look to sport it's kind of like it's like a release. It's like something a little bit fantastic. It's something a little bit superhuman.
It's escapism.
You forget that it lives in the real world, though. And, you know, these riders are all real people as well, even if they are performing these superhuman feats. And there's obviously always context because you're in a place. Spain has a long history of, you know, they had a civil war there not really that long ago in the grand scheme of things. France, there's loads of protesting. They love to shoot shit into parliament buildings over there, don't they? Like literally shoot shit into parliament buildings. So it's tricky because you have riders asked to like, what is your opinion of this? And, you know, they're there to do a job, which is to race their bikes. They're not necessarily political persons. Is it unfair to ask them to have an opinion on world politics when they're trying to do their day job?
No. But unfortunately, they are all billboards for a lot of bad things. I use the word sports washing, but it's pretty bizarre situation we're in where you have UAE, Bahrain, Israel, all kind of purportedly, well, having the names of the countries in a team. Obviously, you can argue the reasons behind doing such things. But one thing to note on Israel Premier Tech is they're not actually state sponsored, are they?
No.
They're just sponsored by a very, very, very passionate man, Sylvan Adams.
Yeah, he's like a self-appointed ambassador for Israel in a way, isn't he? Which it makes it even more odd, because if you look at it purely as a business decision, you're sort of like, well, maybe now is not a great time to have the name of that country on a cycling kit, where these riders are now being forced to affiliate themselves with, a bad thing.
Yeah. Cool. If you were one of the riders, though, you'd be on the phone to your agent to get yourself out of that team.
You'd be doing a Derek G, wouldn't you? You'd be like, this is intolerable, and I think fair enough.
Did you see Matthew Riccitello, who was their best rider?
Finished 5th, right?
Won the white jersey. Literally the morning after the race was like, yeah, I'm off to Decathlon next year. Like, get me the fuck out of here. Couldn't say it during the race because, disrespectful and all, but holy shit, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens, I suppose, because, you and I both agree, I'm assuming you and I both agree, protest is an essential part of democracy. We have to have that. And riders, when they voice, like Tom Pidcock, when he was like, it felt like this was my day. And on the one hand, you're like, that's a little bit tone deaf. Perhaps you're missing the context here. But also, you are a professional sports person.
That is his whole context, right?
Exactly.
That's all he knows. That and dogs.
That and dogs and possibly Fortnite, yeah. Yeah, and so, he's focusing on the thing that he's there for, which is the race. And that's not to say that there aren't, obviously there are bigger things. There's always bigger things. And, I guess one of the problems that we have when we start talking about bigger political things is, we end up with this whataboutism where people are like, oh yeah, but what about this other thing, which is also, and this other thing, and this other thing, and which is a silly way to go. It's like I think we can all agree that bad things are bad, and finding worse things doesn't make a bad thing less bad, if we want to put it in simple terms.
The simplest.
Yeah, possibly the simplest terms that I can.
Do you think sports people should speak out?
I think they should if they want to. I think it's up to the individual, is what I would say. It's I don't think that you can be. It's the same. I have this problem with when they talk about media training with riders, and this is why you get bland interviews a lot of the time. Is they're like, oh, I can't say this and I can't say that, and we're in an interesting time now where social media seems to have gotten under the surface of that a little bit now, and teams are much more interested, and athletes are much more interested in trying to portray their real self, whether or not that self is real or has been constructed in order to gain likes and followers is I guess another conversation.
Like Jonathan Waters, for example.
loves a roll neck, loves a pair of white brogues. It's like it's a
construction of self.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Whether you like that or not is up to you. Again, it's like an individual choice, because Jonathan Waters' job is to be visible and to what was it? He said he's running a content creation company rather than a cycling team now. So what better way than to dress like a clown? I'm only joking. I quite like the white brogues. But, you mentioned Sylvan Adams already, and it's sort of, you're trying to grind some sort of political agenda here at the cost of the safety of the riders ultimately, which is, obviously that's a major consideration. There are different ways to protest as well.
Yeah.
It's like when
there are better ways to promote the state of Israel than paying Chris Froome a reported £5 million a year, right?
Or not. maybe that's a great waste of money, let's give this white South African £5 million a year for him to go and do whatever I suppose he's to crash again, but pay his hospital bills, which is, get well soon. It's
said with great sincerity.
Hey, the flowers are in the post. What would you have done, though? People are protesting Israel. Fine. The team, Israel Premier Tech, like you said, they're not state-sponsored. They bear the name of a country which is committing genocide. Is that grounds enough to exclude them?
This is bigger than the race organizer, I think.
100%,
this is like a whole... I'm sure a lot of the other riders wanted them to bugger off, but I guess, like they said, it would have set a precedent, It's so knotty and complex. Yeah. It's a shame that the UCI didn't get involved earlier on. Really, I don't think it's fair to be critical of the Vuelta race organisers. No. They just wanted the race to run, and these kind of geopolitical things. That's for the UCI. They should have been right on it. Making a decision, or at least making a statement, or supporting the race organiser. Yeah,
and the team's made up of multiple people as well. There's the riders obviously, but there's the management too, and you can't hold every one of them. I don't think you can realistically hold every one of them accountable for this situation. It's like, yes, there are factors here, but you're not going to get the DAS being like, we need to withdraw the team. That's the job, and the riders are there to race.
It must have been scary not knowing what might happen with the rumours of, when they blocked the road on the TT2, who knows, that could have got way worse if they'd ploughed into them and crashed or whatever, you know. So yeah, a tricky time. I think it definitely affected the fan spectacle. You know, we're trying to give the fans eye view here. Like the stage that Bernal won is like sprinting for the line at 3K to go. Yeah. It's not really a line. Yeah. Sprint, and then Pidcock, him and Vingegaard just racing like mad in the crazy Basque Hills, and then they sort of Pidcock didn't even realise there wasn't a finish. Yeah. As they were like rolling into Bilbao, just like, it's a shame. But, you know, that's cycling. Yeah. It's on roads. Yeah. That's part of its wonder and its joy. So these are just part of it. Unfortunately for the riders and fans, sometimes shit happens.
And I would say that in some ways, putting all of the surrounding context aside, I do think that it's made for a more memorable race in some ways. Certainly in the case of the podium that we saw, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was amazing. I'm sure our listeners have seen the clips and the photos from this very sort of handmade podium that was in the back of a hotel car park that was organised by the teams or themselves rather than the race organisers. I'm not sure, but they managed to do a kind of very lo-fi version of the pomp and ceremony of the usual ceremony. And actually, we got a guest, haven't we, Stu?
We do, yeah.
Who was there?
We do.
We've had a few photographers on the show, but personally, I love speaking to the cycling photographers because they've got a front row seat to the best show on earth.
Certainly, yeah. And we're both visual people as well, aren't we?
And they're looking at it through the lens and capturing and immortalising these moments, I think you said to me.
Yeah, 100%. This episode we have been joined by Shone Hardy, who is the team photographer for Little Trek, embedded with both the men's and the women's teams, has been for the past few years. So let's get Shone on and we can hear firsthand about the podium and about the Vuelta and about cycling photography.
Lovely. Here's Shone Hardy.
You don't have to moderate yourself just because, this is not exactly a esteemed company, I would say.
Speak for yourself.
I am. Yeah, how's it going?
Yeah, good. It's been a mad year, actually. So, I've been working with Little Trek and filming and shooting with them all year, and it's been crazy. Like, we've got all 3 sprint jerseys at every Grand Tour, which is, I only found out at the end of the Vuelta that's history. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah. It just happens. I suppose it's like another day at work, and it's not another day at work. It's quite special, obviously, when it's happening. But I would imagine that for yourself and for the team, to some extent, it's like you're all there to do a job, and you're doing that job, and you're looking at what is in front of me. Let's do this, and then you put the head up at the end, and you're like, oh, holy shit, we've just made history.
Yeah. Well, you think the guy that's making the video, someone would have said, maybe at the beginning of the year, we might make history. I was like, what? And I was like, that's our end of season video wrapped up then.
Yeah.
But
topic is...
No, it's been good. It's been really good. It's been a good... The biggest thing I've noticed this year, we were always a little bit... When Little came in with Trek and it became Little Trek, it was always this kind of family team anyway, so everyone was a bit, what's going to happen? Is it going to go a bit more corporate? But I think these are the most team vibes I think I felt in the last 4 years. I think it's 4 years, coming up 4 years.
So that's 4 years you've been with the team, yeah?
That's great.
To be a trial period.
That's great. You do really get the sense. The thing that really strikes me and that I love about the way you capture the team is the way you capture those off-bike moments, like showing the team as they are, their personalities. It's very kind of like documentary style, but with a bit of flair. And it's also in the most unglamorous locations ever: hotels, car parks, backs of buses. Like, can you tell us a little bit about this style and I guess why you've already mentioned that the Little Trek team seem to have this great togetherness, how that makes your job maybe easier?
So when it first started, I was just there to shoot some social video, no plans. And they never had a video camera on, the riders have never had a video camera within the team. They'd had photographers, but never had an actual video, someone running around, and they're actually then conscious of what they're saying, etc. And we just tried it out, and they took really well to it. I think they wanted it, if I'm honest. There's a lot. The thing with people, remember, with athletes is they all want to tell their story. And once we brought more and more time on, they started to feel more and more safe. And I've reached a point, especially with the images, like you say, with the behind the scenes, that almost forgotten that I have a camera, you know, and I'll sit on with the riders nearly all this. You almost feel like they're going to go, come on, let's go race. You know, no, I'm the video guy. Like,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, okay. But, and then there's stuff I can never ever release. A lot of nakedness.
Yeah. If there's one thing about cyclists is they love nakedness, isn't it?
It's a test.
It's a test.
Because they do it near the coffee machine. And you're like, I'm just going to have to go in.
You're talking about on the bus here, right?
Yeah, no, well, yeah, it is on the bus.
You can totally feel what you're saying though, because cycling is such a traditional sport in the sense of it's like you never saw what happened on the bus ever. I mean, that's partly because back in the day they were all hooked up to blood bags, and maybe not so many nefarious things. Yeah. But like that's the thing. Like I love these photos. You have of Mads and Chicho, Giulio Ciccone, just like being silly, being stupid, showing their real selves, which you so rarely see athletes do. So yeah, I guess that's that trust that you've built over years, like you said.
Yeah, it was a big goal. Like I've worked with other teams, and it's always been that kind of service agreement. You know, come in, we need this photo, we need to look like this, or we need to look like that. And I always wanted a team that I could actually grow with, rather than just step in or replace another photographer. And so having them, well, especially this team does help because it does have a very family vibe. But to have them let me grow with that has really, I think this year more than ever has got to a point where you're like, God, actually, no, you can see that. And I don't know if this is timing either, because the world has shifted where people want more authentic work, you know, more people are anti-AI. Well, anti-IA might be a thing, actually. That's a good T-shirt. Yeah, so maybe it is just they're hitting that trend on that point, and people are actually... I found this year people are connecting with it more because I think they just want stuff that's a bit more real.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's talk about real. The final podium of La Vuelta.
Straight in.
When I saw your photos from that, I was like, I've got to get Sean on the pod to talk about that. Like, your caption with the photos was something like, "This is cycling, full stop." Just paint us the picture. How did it happen? Why is it so real? Why was it so cool?
Okay, well, I'll go right from the beginning then.
Yeah,
so
do it.
That day, the boys were really geared up that day to win, like really geared up. Everyone, then the bus meeting was amazing. Luca came on and met us in Madrid and did a talk about what today was going to be. And I was like, God, you know, we're going to win again today. This is going to be stage 2. Like, these are geared up. And then obviously everything that's happening with the race and the protests and stuff like that. It was a little bit nervous if it would or wouldn't. And there was that talk was happening all week. But, you know, the vibes were really, really high. And then we got to, the boys went off racing, and we take the bus to the finish, which is about an hour's drive. And then we pulled up, and within 10 minutes, we got off the bus, and 10 minutes it just went carnage, and like the organisers, you got to get out of here. We're like, what? And like, that's it, the race is done. We're like, whoa, okay. And then it was a bit like, whoa, you know, and you just went back to the hotel. There was, normally at this point, you've all got your T-shirt designs on, celebrating the jersey. Everyone's like looking forward to a beer around the bus later. Yeah. And it's quite like it's that little sign off with those people you spend all the time on the road with, and then you all part ways and go home. So it was a little bit weird. And then we got back to the hotel, and I honestly thought that was it. I thought, okay, we're just going to have a dinner tonight and that's it, and go back. And then the press officer, Andy Maguire, said, they're doing a makeshift podium for the winners. Do you want to come? I was like, oh, what is it? It's the hotel down the road. He said, I think it's just a room, and they're just going to hand in the trophies. I was like, oh, no one needs those photos. It's just going to be a conference room or something. I was like, and I to Andy, I was like, I don't need to go, do I? And he's like, nah, probably not. And then my boss, Elka, sent a message saying, oh, Mads has got a thing. Be good if you could come. So I did, yeah, of course I'm coming. Yeah, no worries. So I was going actually thinking, this is going to be crap. And we pulled up, and then we went to the hotel, just as I thought, and we're walking through the lobby with Mads, and then we meet Pidcock, and we're walking through, and I'm thinking, where's this room? And no one knows where they're going. Like, even Luca, the manager's like, where we've got to be? And we're like, well, we'll just keep going through that. It was a long hotel, actually. I remember it being like almost a 10-minute walk. And we were going through with Mads and we were just chatting, and then we'd come out the hotel, the other end. I was like, what's going on? And we went round the back to the car park, and I think Red Bull was staying there, Bahrain, Visma. Still didn't know what was happening. No one knew what was happening. And we were all just sort of sitting around, and Quick Step were there as well, so we had some beers with Quick Step. And then it all just started building. Like, the van came up, and the Vuelta turned up with a backdrop, and they stuck it on with duct tape. And then they were like, oh, that's not high enough. So then they were putting bollards on top of the van, and they were taping it all up. They brought their music box out, which played We Are the Champions by Queen. I was a bit like, could we not pick something else?
Sure,
that's a European song choice, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
We are the champions. And then loads of champagne, and then they got the cool boxes out for the podium steps, wrote on them with markers.
The fact that the cool boxes are perfectly tiered as well, do you just have them kicking about? Has somebody looked at them at some point and been like, oh, that's interesting, the cool boxes are 3 different sizes, that could be useful? Or have they had to rush out to, like, maybe they've gone to Lidl and been like, we need to buy cool boxes, but we need them to be 3 different sizes?
I don't know how that happened. But they were pretty excited. All the riders at that point, they're all catching up. You know, Mads is drinking with Jonas, and I think he'd had quite a few actually, Jonas. I think that's the smartest I've ever seen him, I think.
Getting Lucy.
And then Pidcock's there with his missus and his dogs. Mate, those dogs.
Are they licking his teeth?
They lead a better life than I do, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, unbelievable. I think some kid at one point came up to, as they do, stroke the dog. And they were actually had to say, well, no, they've had a bit too much stroking today. Like, they just need to chill out a bit.
Just let them drink this saucer of champagne.
Yeah. Wow. And the dog even looked up saying, yeah, I am. I'm tired. All the stroking and looking good. But no, they're cute dogs. And then Pidcock was there with, I think, because everyone was saying that it was the mum and dad. Pidcock's
the rumour is that it was his mum's idea to do it.
Serious? Fuck yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was, because she was one of the photos I've taken with the cool boxes in the back, you can see a bit of a dress. Well, that's Pidcock's mum.
Nice.
So she was constantly walking around setting up. And
That's very sweet, isn't it? That's very British village hall spirit, isn't it? All mucking. She's not on the Vuelta organising committee. It's great.
It was that point, actually, where I stood back and saw everyone, and everyone had a few beers, and all the riders are getting along, and then hearing the mum thinking, she just wants to see her boy on a podium. It doesn't matter where it doesn't matter that it's the big stage. It doesn't matter that she wants to see her boy on a podium.
Yeah,
that's sweet.
And then they started laughing. They were spraying the champagne, putting it on. I thought, God, this is beautiful. Like, this is everything. Like what cycling should be. Like there was no worrying about sponsors. There was none of this tie up. They weren't just shaking hands with people they didn't know. You could see the minute they did all their bits, and they were like, "Oh, this is a bit weird, but this is kind of cool." The riders. The minute the champagne, like that champagne hit, was great, because it was almost like, I can put this anywhere. I haven't got to do it for a picture. I'm not going to do it. And they just blasting it at each other. And I was like, God, this is really good.
Yeah,
this is
proper.
Really good.
It felt like everyone was just a bit closer in that moment. Staff, organisers, like parents, riders. Did you get that vibe?
Yeah, I think from a Grand Tour that was uneasy, and not because of the protest things. That is what it is, and rightfully so in some places. Like, it was actually what was worrying to see with the riders, that they were generally a bit worried, like a bit like we don't know if someone's going to come at us with a car, like we were a bit worried. So it was the safety element. So you're always on edge for them, regardless of them being athletes or not. These are people and they're going out just doing a job, and you're like, I'm a little bit nervous. I hope they're all right. I just want to get back to the bus kind of thing. So having all that uneasiness, and then having a podium like that actually was a real, it was just a togetherness that you just thought, I'll never see this again, actually.
It's like one of the realest things I've seen probably in cycling media in some time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can imagine my face. When I stood there, I was like, oh my God. I was looking at Russ Ellis, who I've worked with alongside for years.
Salty dog, yeah.
And we looked at each other and was like, this is brilliant. And then when there weren't many photographers, and we were like, we've got these in the bag, these. So I was sitting there with my video camera, like filming everything, and then shooting with the other hand on taking photos. I'm just taking it all in, meta glasses on. So it was a good moment. It was really nice. And it was good even with Russ, actually. It was a bit, I was sort of looking at him going like, this is kind of special. And it was kind of nice that there wasn't loads of Getty photographers there or anything like that. It was actually kind of people who just kind of knew.
Yeah.
And that made it really nice because you were like, okay, this is a nice little core unit you've got here.
Yeah, for sure. For me, that kind of like stock press photography, it's not killing cycling. It's just the thing that we're used to seeing. We've seen this before, and you're part of this, like, I would say, new wave of like cycling photography where we're being shown the sport in this fresh way, and this, like, we're getting this access that we've not seen before. And like you said, you've been with the team 4 years now. You said you're on trial. Do you think have you passed now?
I don't know, who knows? Freelance, yeah. They like to do that with freelance, just dangle you out there. Yeah. It keeps the rates low. I think it's good, actually. There's these talks next year, actually, that because obviously Lidl came in and took that little bit of power with Trek. So I think I might be doing more next year, actually.
Sick.
There'll be more stuff and more projects and more stuff on. So yeah, it's been really good. But hey, we were all just copying. Remember Scott Mitchell?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mod cycling
His portraits of Bradley Wiggins back in the day when he was riding for Sky was that kind of off-bike coolness.
Yeah, people forget Scott quite a bit, and like I never really spoke to him much. I used to walk around. I used to think he was a bit of a dick, actually. I used to think like, oh, this knobhead's not saying hello to anyone. But his work-wise, I was like, we're all just spin-offs of Scott Mitchell. He should take credit for that a bit more, actually. Yeah. Because I was shooting this season with a bit of fisheye. Because I got into some skateboarding, back into skateboarding stuff. I was like, I'm just going to shoot some fisheye, and I really enjoyed it. And then when I was looking at the images, I was like, God, Scott was doing this wide. You know, he was almost doing this wide towards the back end of his career, and he was getting a bit slated for it. You know, going, oh, he just does the same thing.
Just too far ahead of his time.
Yeah, the boy he's a mod. That's why.
Yeah, exactly. That was the thing. Like, he brought that style and sensibility over to cycling, which was pretty new at the time. Obviously, like you said, you've been with the team a few years. You're mates with some of the riders now. You're going to weddings, aren't you? You know, tell us a little bit of that. I mean, you've actually told us before a little bit, some insight into Mads Pedersen, what a great guy he is, as well as the rider. Tell us a bit more about some of your favourite riders on the teams. Who do you like to photograph? You know.
You want inside stuff.
Can't talk about this.
No, they are really good. They're all really good. Some of them are really good. You're close with now, you know, and you are going to weddings and shoot. Like, I've got Skelly's wedding coming up. I've got Jacobs, the press officer's wedding. I'm shooting. There's about 3 weddings next year, I think.
Nice sideline.
Yeah. I only do Jacobs one because he gets the contract for the following year. So he'll probably get that free.
Yeah.
But no, the group's good. Like, even you realise how close it is when Dan Hull he leaves this year. And him leaving is like, oh no, like, it was a real kind of like crap. And you can see in his eyes, he's like, well, I don't really want to leave, but I need to think about what I need to do for my career. And it's like, it's almost like mates departing school in a way. But everyone's super good. Like, Mads a born leader. He is something special, like really special. You are completely drawn in. There's moments where you look at him and go, I wish he was my brother. And then you look at him and go, I wish he was my dad. I wish I was his son. Like you get, and I'm like well older than him. And he has just this aura about him. And I think he was a key player while I was there so long, actually. Like, he's very acute to what is going on. He knows what images are good. Like, he does this thing. Like, he knows if you're filming something or taking a photo and it's quite important. And I still don't know if he's doing it, one, to piss me off, or two, just to control the media. And he'll get something and I'll think, fucking hell, this is good. And then he just goes like that, straight to the camera and sticks his finger.
I've heard that before about him.
Yeah.
He does. It's not just you he does that with.
Yeah, I can't fucking use it. Or he'll pull out an unsponsored something that he sees lying around and pretends to have that and holds that. And you're like, I can't take a photo now, you little fucker. And he'll just go, it's your problem. It's like my problem to work out. But
future politician.
I think he's very good. Anyway, he's a leader. You know, it's his, when he's there and it's his team. He's an aura, a real.
You told me that he likes to make bets as well. Have you had any?
Don't bet with him.
Don't do it.
No, because you never, ever win. They were doing bets on the. What was he trying to bet this year? If I drink from his, if he won, if I drink from his shoe, which doesn't sound that bad, but they were his heat training shoes.
Seasoned, well seasoned.
Yeah, I thought they were bad. I was like, nope, not doing it. And then he'll try everything. He wanted me to chew the straps on his helmet after the stage. I was like, well, that's better than the shoe. But anyway, we're not doing it. I think he was trying to bet Chico, if he won, then he could buy his Ferrari at a discounted rate. But he had already worked out that rate, the resale cost of it. So he'd already knew what he was going to get his profit on it. So he was never betting. He was just doing a deal. And Chico said, oh, okay, we'll do the bet. And I don't know where that got to in the end. Actually.
Sounds like he keeps it light when it needs to be light, and then obviously serious when it needs to be serious, right? Which is, again, I think a sign of a great leader. Yeah,
100%. The key with him, and I think why I've been there so long, is to know when not to film and when to back off. There's been a few close moments where I've thought, fuck it, have I pushed the line there or something? And then I think it was a Roubaix, maybe last year, he had a documentary crew with him, his Danish crew.
Yeah.
I just think maybe it was just a few two cameras, and I found myself shooting a lot from a distance and then being frustrated I wasn't getting the closeness that I wanted. And then I was worried I pissed him off. But then he's that kind of guy. Like, I met him after Roubaix. Like, I hope I haven't pissed you off. Like, I'm just trying to. He's like, fucking shut up. Just do your job. Shut up. You're like, right.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he is one of those. It's like what he says goes. And then, I mean, if you don't want you on the team, you're not on the team. He strikes me as that powerful, really.
Well.
But in a good way. He wouldn't abuse that. You know, he wants the best of the best.
Well, I mean, I guess that's a skill as well, isn't it? It's like recognizing who is contributing to the energy and who's like detracting from it. You know what I mean? It sounds like he thinks of all. I mean, that's one of the nice things about his interviews. He's always very real in interviews as well. Like he recognizes the context a lot more than some riders may, where they're kind of like very narrow focus on the moment and what has just happened and what am I trying to do. Like, he'll speak about his family and he understands the sacrifice, you know, in that for him to be doing what he does. You know, when he talks about like post-retirement, for example, which I've kind of always liked because it makes him seem so much more real. Like, a lot of the time, like, athletes come across as untouchable, superhuman, different weirdos, and he, you know, like, obviously he's committing all these superhuman feats, but he's super real with it at the same time, which is
he's a bit like Geraint Thomas in that respect. He's like a kind of man of the people vibe, but also supernatural kind of talent.
Yeah, that's a good link, actually. Geraint's good with that as well, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's good, but they're all good. Like, Milan's good as well. Like, no,
he's a big boy, isn't he?
He is a big boy.
He's huge. I remember seeing him in the flesh. I was like, God, there's no way you're getting over the Poggio. That was San Remo, but maybe you will one day. Yeah,
he's tall, isn't he? He's like absolutely built. But no, he's really good. He's really, really nice. He's a different leader. You know, he has a Mads comes on the bus and changes the aura. Like, he can single-handedly walk in. I think Milan walks like when a cowboy walks into the saloon with his crew. You're like, who the fuck are these? Like, he's a bit like that. Like, he has a boys behind him. You're like, wow. A bit like a Harley Davidson crew or something. He reminds me of. But he's really nice. I've got a ton of respect for him. Good photographer, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Really good photographer.
Nice.
Surprised me, actually. I didn't see that. He was telling me, I like this, I like that. I had a message off him not long ago saying, should I buy this Leica or this one? I was like, you do this one. What do you want to do? And then,
nice.
Yeah, no, he's really good.
You what's cool with Little Trek is obviously they have the men's and the women's teams, and you shoot the women's team as well. What are the kind of big or any differences between the two in the experience that you get?
Well, that's a good question, actually, because I don't think there is. Like, there is on other teams I've worked with. Like, I've been very conscious I'm on at a men's race or a women's race. I mean, there's obviously different times I can go on the bus on the women's, and I might, but there's no. I'd love to say there was this, and that, but there isn't really. Like, I'm close to the women's team as well, and that's been about building respect, you know, and listening to them more than pushing my. That's the key. Is you listen to them, like, regardless of what image I want or what video I really desire, the athlete comes first. As long as that is always in their mind, then you're always okay. And
who's the big character? Who's the big character on the team?
They're all they're different in their way. Like, when I look back, like Lizzie was like, obviously she was a bit like a Mads in the way. You walked on and you knew Lizzie was in the room. But they're all pretty strong. Like Spratty's, I'm always impressed with Spratty and how she kind of almost everyone looks to see what's Spratty going to do or how's she doing it or this. Then you've got Shirin, who's I think she's going to get stronger and stronger. Actually, Shirin.
Yeah.
She's a real character that you can kind of watch her growing on that side.
What a privilege to have been able to document Queen Lizzie Armitstead, though, one of the great female British cyclists of all time. It's like, and then the same goes for Mads. It must be pretty cool sometimes for you to kind of just take a step back and consider that.
Yeah, I never think of it on the images or the video or anything like that. Actually, maybe that will come later on when you stop doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think about that at all. I do it with more things like sitting at a bar with Lizzie drinking a whiskey in America, going, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Or singing karaoke, and you're looking down and was going, "Yeah." Oh, that was a messy night, actually.
Yeah.
I don't remember that one much.
Is this what is this?
This was a trek camp we did a couple of years ago, and we ended up going to a karaoke bar or something, and you couldn't get me off the stage. It was ridiculous. At one point, I didn't even have a microphone. I just stood there like this, put my fingers up to everyone. And the American lady said, "This guy thinks he's Liam Gallagher."
You're like, what of it? What of it?
Yeah.
What was your go-to? I mean, were you just rattling through? Were you'd reformed Oasis before they reformed the ticket, or?
Yeah, it was just Oasis greatest hits.
Nice. Yeah. You can't go wrong.
No, it's easy to do, isn't it? If Liam can sing it, anyone.
Shone, thank you so much for your time.
No, thank you.
I really highly recommend that people check out your work. How can they go about doing that, seeing your photos and films?
Films, everything is on the Lidl YouTube. I'd love to dive into other films, but all my time's taken with the Lidl stuff. And then images, obviously Instagram's the best place to look in it. I can chuck you towards my website, but no one really cares.
What about your Instagram? Where can they find you there?
Hardy CC Photos.
There you go. Brilliant. Thank you so much. What's next or is it off season now for you, or a few more races?
No. Italian block, then head office with Lidl for a week. Actually, I've got a call after this about portraits for the new kit.
There you go.
And then,
Exciting.
And then November off, and then it's back to training in December.
There you go.
Brilliant.
You have to give us a sneak peek of the new kit when you see it, and then we probably could also do with some tips on the Lidl. Have got some great merch. The bucket hats seem to be impossible to get. The podium caps also, like,
people think we have them all, but we actually, when we go to see a Lidl, we stop in to see what's in the middle aisle to pick it up, and then we'll get messages from riders saying, "Oh, grab me that towel," or "Grab me those shoes," and then we bring them back. Like, I don't know where they get half the stuff. The biggest thing actually is the chairs. You've seen the camping chairs. I don't know where they get them from, but they are everywhere.
yeah. Speaking of Mads and his side hustles, like flipping Ferraris, you should maybe start like a little Lidl merch, like supplying Lidl merch.
I like to do like a middle aisle photo book. I like that.
I love it.
That's a good idea.
They'd be fucking everywhere and all, wouldn't it? Like,
Mads in the middle aisle.
that'd
Mads
be
in the middle.
good. Just flicking the finger on the front cover.
There's an idea for a zine.
There you go. Lovely. Shone, cheers. Have a great rest of the day.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, boys.
Well, how about that then? Straight from the horse's mouth. I mean, I'm not calling Shone a horse. He strikes me more of a bit of one of those compact dogs that are quite fun to hang out with, isn't he?
Our listeners will have no visual reference there, but maybe you can get it.
Oh, you get it from his tone, yeah. This is right after him saying that the shit that we say about each other behind our backs. No sooner is he off the phone than I'm calling him a wee dog. But a dog that I'd pat, so there's that. This episode is sponsored by the Tour Down Under, isn't it, Harry?
Yeah, our favourite race officially.
Quite possibly, yeah.
Well, like I've said before, it's the race where you get so excited because the season's here.
Yeah.
You're watching in Europe, the weather's shit, you're seeing sunshine on your screen.
Yeah.
And if you're in Australia or even further afield, why don't you go and visit? Because it is literally the best fan experience. Like, there's no question about it. We did it once, Stu, didn't we? And we had the best time ever.
You're pretty much guaranteed great weather. Just the surrounding kind of like cultural aspect of it, you know, like what a great country. Food's great. I mean, coffee, you're not going to get a bad coffee. It's not like going to the Giro d'Italia and you have to suffer terrible Italian coffee.
That's so harsh.
Which makes me sound like a snob. I mean, I am a snob, that's fair enough. But yeah, I mean, in Adelaide, what's my experience of Adelaide before going there for the Tour Down Under? Probably not much. And like, if you have ever watched any sort of Aussie TV programs, it always seems to get like a bit of it seems to be the butt of the joke occasionally, you know, being like a sort of a second or third place to Sydney and Melbourne. But it's actually brilliant.
It's better than those places if you ask me. No, I'm being serious. It's the perfect size for a city, and like in the Adelaide Hills, we're talking wine country here. The riding is sensational.
Yeah.
And the thing that's really cool about the Tour Down Under, I reckon, is the way they organise and put on, and brands and sponsors put on so much for the fan experience. Because the beauty of the race, obviously, is that it pretty much all starts in and around Adelaide and always comes back. So the riders, everyone comes back to Adelaide after every stage. But what that means is there's like, for example, there's a car park climb race on one of the evenings of the race, just for like random people that can turn up and do it. There's gravel ride outs and sportives. There's group rides. They've also put on like transfers for fans to go out from Adelaide to the stage if you don't have a car. It's like, it is genuinely the best organised race in terms of making the fan experience as good as possible. And then there's, you know, there's live podcast recordings, there's, you know, talks with riders.
There's always something going on, isn't there? And if you're in the city, it's like, there's just tons to do. It's so good. So I mean, even if you're half a world away like we are, if you're looking for a little getaway, why not go? I mean, I'd do it at the drop of the hat. Can you? Yeah. I wonder if you could take a 1-year-old on a plane for 20 hours. I'm sure people have done that. If anyone has any tips.
My brother did it once, and I picked him up off the plane, and let's just say he looked like a ghost. tourdownunder.com.au is the website. It's a great website. It really gives you a good idea of what's going on. Yeah, check it out and get involved.
Love it.
Well, that pretty much brings us to the end of the episode. I mean, like I said at the top of the show, I'm incredibly excited about the Road World Championships in Rwanda, a country that I've been to. I've been to the Tour de Rwanda. I am actually the official voice of the Tour de Rwanda highlights packages each year. I'll have it be known. That's a long story that I won't be going into, but it's going to be absolutely amazing. Kigali is a fantastic city, so I just can't wait to see them race in and around the hills of it. Oh my God, it's going to be a Worlds with a flavour like we've never seen or felt before, and hopefully the racing is good too, and it isn't just Tadej riding away with the race, 100 kilometres to go.
Yeah, there you go. You got any tips for Rob Hatch then? I suppose we've ended up being a little bit Brute-centric here, Harry, haven't we? But
I'd like to put it this way. I'd like to see Rob learning the pronunciations for some of the Rwandan words, because I can barely even read them, let alone say them. But I look forward to it.
It'll be a masterclass, no doubt, for those of us watching in the UK,
it definitely will. Gutsler won't be there, but I will be watching. It pretty much kicks off with the time trials already this weekend. So, you know, riders are already out there on the course in the land of 1,000 hills, they call it.
And there are almost 1,000 hills in the race itself. It's 270 kilometers long. It's going to be a proper
smash fest for the climbers. Speaking of climbers, on last week's Live in the Peloton, Mitch did a 10 questions with the retiring Mike Woods. Friend of Race Radio, actually, Mike Woods. I do really recommend it. It's always fascinating to listen to Mike, but some of his perspectives on how the peloton's changed, you know, how he's made it a difficult career for him to kind of enjoy in a way. And also there is a story about getting a bollocking from his DS, Charlie Wigalius, that is worth the admission price alone. So do check that out as well if you haven't yet already.
Did Mike have an opinion on the whole Israel situation? He's not with the team anymore. He's retired now, so I'm sure. Is he clear? Is he allowed to say stuff yet, or does it? I mean, I guess people need to listen to find out, don't they?
I'd say his contract is got a little bit left on it.
They're probably holding out on the final payment.
Bit heartbreaking for Mike. The Canadian races were going to be his last races before he hung up his wheels at home, and he wasn't fit or healthy enough to take part. So again, speaking of a damp squid, career kind of peters out like that. It's a shame not being able to do it on your own terms like Geraint Thomas did.
Yeah, for sure. You don't get a victory lap of your home country, I suppose, is a bit of a downer. But then,
no.
From our perspective, I mean, Mike, if he's listening, I doubt it, but if he is listening, we got to see him in Paris at the end of the Tour de France. What a perfect way to end, you know, like
his career with us.
Yeah, his and our career. Great.
Yeah, I think that brings us to the end. Yeah. We'll see you for one more end of season wrap up.
Yep.
In the meantime, get ready for Rwanda.
Oh, I cannot wait.
Here we go.
Let's take advantage of this.
I'm Mitch Docker, and this is Life in the Pelotons